I just love that pick. Cute. Cute, cute, cute. Hello, my dear ones. How are you? Always a pleasure. Matter of fact, we've got some new questions. And, God, there's so many I've been getting to, but I want to thank all of you for your kindness. Someone gave me some neat, kind of like you would do an incense, or you would do some type of herb to clear things. This is a typical thing. This is a typical iris analysis out there, and I want to show you guys the difference here. You know, years ago, we made iris analysis like this, even Jensen's iris analysis, and I've never had Doc do my eyes because, I mean, I was already a long-term iridologist when I met him, but I did his. Matter of fact, Jensen gave me pictures of his eyes dating back to, oh God, who knows, in the 30s or 40s, I don't know. I had eyes, so I made him a collage and showed him how the movement of his body was through all those years. It was interesting. Someone stole it, but it was fun. Hey, sweetheart, no, just push that red button right in. No, that's okay. No, absolutely. You know, these charts, and they really was like, you have a kidney function, it says your kidneys are number 2 and 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 and this, and I've always felt, look at the difference between our iris analysis and things like this. Just, it doesn't tell you anything, and yet the eyes can tell us so much about your physical body and, you know, about some of what you're dealing with, emotions and things like this. And so we always want to give the best we can give to people, and always, because this is your journey, and your journey is supposed to get bigger and better and bigger and better. This is probably the most restricted and the lowest part of your journey. And when you get awakened, and you continue to awaken from the physical side of this journey, it becomes incredible. And that's where you're all going. It's just a beautiful thing. And it's worth always working on your spirituality. It's always worth working on stop thinking. It's just play the observer role. You're just going to be an observer in life for a little while. You're just going to watch the big movie. And don't get lost in little movies like cell phone movies and things like that. What I wanted to do this video, and maybe I should wait, because there is a lot of new questions that probably need addressed really bad. But I wanted to address this ketogenic revolution diet. And I also wanted to address, someone sent me in this, the alkaline diet and evidence-based review. And so I think what I'll do is I'll touch on these real quick, and then I also have some time. Maybe I'll stop that and do another video and get a few of these questions answered. But let's talk about the ketogenic diet. Esslinger's, Dr. Robert Esslinger's, it says he starts with bulletproof coffee. I mean, the diet is just atrocious. But this whole idea, the whole philosophy behind this is interesting to me. Now keep in mind that when you have the word inflammation, that's a medical's terminology for, and actually it's not even just medical, it's just our terminology for acidosis. You know, a lot of people think inflammation is the problem. It isn't. It is the response, not the problem. So you have to ask yourself, what's it in response to? And when we go over these ketogenic diets and these acid alkaline, so you get a better perspective of the truth of this, realize the missing link medically is the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is the major fluid-based system next to water of the human body there is, not blood. Blood's just a simple chemical delivery system. It must maintain a pH, and that is obvious. And we're going to talk about that. But the ketogenic people think that, again, starvation of the carbohydrates. And this is what's interesting to me, that a lot of these levels of thinking feel that they have to eliminate the carbohydrates, the sugars. The bad thing about that is where you get your energy. And this article is by Mary Budinger, and she's trying to say in this article that energy called fermentation is like, what? Energy called fermentation? Energy called adenosines. That's all your phosphates. And so, I mean, there is energy at every level, there's no question. But the cells don't get their energy off of fermentation. That's, you could not get energy from fermentation, but we like to keep the fermentation part of the body down. Because we have oxidation, we have combustion, we have all kinds of things. But fermentation is not an area that, look up in your medical books, you know, and there's nowhere do you see the energy. There is energy released in all chemical processes. Any enzymatic activity, which is everywhere. Remember, an enzyme is a catalyst needed in all chemical reactions. So there's untold enzymes in the universe. They're little catalysts. Like water's the universal solvent. And here she says the prime cause of cancer is the replacement of the respiration of oxygen in normal body cells by fermentation of sugar. What? That doesn't even make sense. You know, the cause of cancer? You know, these people have no clue. When you're dealing with people that have no clue what the word cancer is and what it means, then anything associated with their concept of treatment of that or dealing with that is obviously not true either. You got to go back and realize that cancer isn't a disease that somehow manifests out of nowhere. That's only medical thinking, because they can't explain to you what causes it. But life is cause and effect, and this level is a chemical level. So it's cause and effect in chemistry, always. All chemistry is electromagnetic, guys. Yes, we have our electrolytes and we have ionization, and we turn on, so to speak. We ionize atoms. And all that is the sharing of electrons, and then the creating of compounds and molecules and things like that on into, you know, your bigger structures, and on and on and on, kind of like you were putting a Lego set together. But the claims here, and then she claims that the goal is to keep you in ketosis. And if you're a diabetic, especially a type 1, you're going to know what ketosis is. Matter of fact, Marcy wanted to sit here with me, but she's been so busy, to tell you, you know, her hospital visits are generally ketosis visits. I had one mother call me once, I think I told you, and she is a young type 1, of course, and she went into ketosis, which is the same thing as acidosis, basically. Ketoacidosis, basically the same thing. You know, your body can't handle, there's a balance in chemistry, and it's simplistic. When we start getting into more complex structures, that's when we have more problems, you know, in every way, especially when you have an acid-ash element involved in this. But some of these claims in this sort of thing, cancer cells cannot ferment fats, but they can ferment sugar, and they do that really well. What are you talking about in this article? Cancer cells produce extra glucose. Cancer cells don't produce, they demand. Why? If you have no energy, you're going to demand more and more forms of energy. You need energy, you need energy. That's not the problem. The problem, if the problem is acidosis, the problem is corrosive acids intracellularly. You got to get to the real cause of what mutates a cell. You can't just out here and hypothesize all this bullcrap. What damages a cell in your body? Well, what two fluids flow around every cell you have, and only two fluids, except for the water, blood and lymph. So if you want to be factual about diseases, then you have to pull back and be factual about chemistry and how the body works, not in some hypothetical theory type of craziness where it's an autoimmune because you can't explain it. And then everybody falls suit right down that line, ketogenic people and everybody else. And you guys don't want to live in that world of ignorance and unawareness, because it gets you nowhere but hurting. That one lady now, and I mean, one, Tom feels like we got hundreds of them. You know, and they just let the medical doctors take them down the road of massive radiation, massive chemotherapy, and then expect us to try to save them at the last minute. And it's like, you know, you got to get awake a little more. You got to decide. Your choice in how you treat your problems determines what your life is going to be like, and whether you're still going to be on the planet or not. Pretty bad when you go to a medical doctor and your chances of survival are maybe 6 to 15%. And I'll give them, I think breast cancer is now, with all the things they're doing and everything, up to 20%. But that's not curative from chemo. That's none of that. You remember, there's no cure to that sort of issue. You don't cure an acid condition in the body with more acids. And so this is amazing to me. Glucose transporters to enable more sugar to enter their cell membrane. So she doesn't get it off here. They don't produce it, but they accept it through their membrane. Only with what? If you're talking about glucose, what carrier do you need for glucose? Insulin. The fermentation process turns glucose and the amino acid glutamine into sufficient quantities of energy. That's not how the body gets energy, not through fermentation. You know, there's proper digestion. Fermentation takes place when you don't have proper enzymatic action. That's what you don't want. You don't want fermentation and putrefaction in the body. You want proper enzymatic action and oxidation and all this whole process of breakdown and the release of energy through the adenosines, not through fermentation. That sets you up for alcohol. And to be honest with you, the average person is an alcoholic. This is something we've never talked about, but the average person is very much an alcoholic. You know, when you combine protein and starches, or you put fruits on top of any other food, you're going to become an alcoholic. You know, I told you the story of the man who was arrested in town here for DUI in the morning. He was arrested. And he was an older man going to Home Depot. And his wife, and this was in the newspaper, he had a big bowl of oatmeal for breakfast, and then he wanted watermelon, and then he put a piece of watermelon on top of the oatmeal. That is a huge no-no. Which do you think digests quicker? Watermelon or oatmeal? Of course watermelon. So you want fermentation in the release? That's not energy, baby. That's creating alcohol. There's little bitty spurts of energy released at little levels, but this is not what the body needs. So, I mean, this whole article is just ridiculous, in my opinion. It's just my thoughts and my opinion, right? Old country boy. But not enough to do the big jobs required of normal cells, like pumping blood and giving it. I mean, this article is unreal. And then the diet is simply atrocious. Let me see what else I can read about this. Dr. Ward was considering perhaps the greatest give me a break. Position emission tomography. Let me see. Cancer by conforming a radioactive. Look at this. Here it is. So what if you starve the cancer cells of their sugary fuel? Now this is an Atkins philosophy, and she's starting to go that way. So what if you starve the cancer cells of their sugary fuel? All right? So remember this. What you do to one cell, that's right. you do them to them all. This idea that you're going to target and that there's a chemotherapy targeting is bull hockey. The only way you can target is frequencies, because that's what this is into, and the medical profession is not even close to being that awake to understand frequencies of everything like that. Rife was kind of saying, hey, think about frequencies of parasites and kill them, and that'll cure cancer. He was assuming it was a parasitic problem. Excuse me? They're the effect, not the cause. See, medical people just keep attacking the effect of things and not dealing with the cause of things. That's why there's so many people getting killed with that theory. So you can't, this whole concept of starving a cell for sugar. What if we switch the fuel we put in the body to something cancer cells cannot use? Enter the ketogenic approach. That's why none of these approaches work. The only thing that the ketogenic approach helps is that it's a high fat. And lipids are what the lymph system is about. That is the lipid system in the body, not the blood. You don't dump lipids into the blood. Obvious reasons. All right? Think of fluidity. Think of pH. Think of a lot of things like that. So your lymph system is your lipid-based system, and it is 80% of interstitial fluid. Just add the interstitial and the lymph. They're all the same, in my opinion. So this whole concept is off on a ridiculous start. You can't starve any cell. Going back to Atkins and how many people that guy killed. I mean, no one understands how many people he hurt and killed with that stupid philosophy. You're going to starve a cell for sugar, you're going to, and that'll make you lose weight. I mean, it's buffering along that same idiocy. You know, starve your body for sugar, and of course it's going to break down your glycogen and your fat storages for sugar, of course, because you have to have it for fuel. But if you think you're going to starve cancer cells and not your other ones, you're crazy. You know, this is all ridiculous stuff. And it doesn't even take in the species. It doesn't take in proper nutrition and health. It doesn't take in the proper understanding of what causes the damage to a cell, how you mutate the chromosomes and DNA and RNA, how you affect these things. How do you get genetic weaknesses out of cells? If you can't answer some of these questions, what are you doing as a practitioner? But then again, I'm just a country boy. I don't know. He said cancer is a mitochondria metabolitic disease. Well, there's a half-truth. Mitochondria, yeah, all your organelles of your cells get damaged just like any other tissue in your body from acids. Everything metabolically breaks down into acids if you haven't noticed. This idea that the body can turn everything into water and carbon dioxide is not quite on the realm of things. Your body has to get rid of a lot of acid waste, and they're not all converted to water and base, not even close. So enter this whole bicarbonate. We're going to get into the bicarbonate thing a little more, even though Pat and I did that already, but the kidney bicarbonate and all that sort of thing. Because the game here in the physical world in life is two forces interplaying with each other. And that's true all the way down to the subatomic and nano levels. You can't escape duality. And you can explain everything that happens from that point of view, because if you can't, you're not sitting on the throne of truth. Because everything is created from this. And you can't create something that doesn't exist. That's not in our limited individuality's ability at this point. Most people. But yeah, the mitochondria, I mean, these are tissues in the intracell that gets damaged. But when you, think of yourself as being constipated. I mean, for days and days and days. And you're a meat eater, and how that putrefaction brings your consciousness down and gives you the headaches and depression and all of that crap. Imagine that intracellular. And that's what you have to understand. This is just cell damage from its own metabolites. Its own metabolites. They're not entering the cell, they're from the cell itself. You know, this is a constant I've said this many times, your body's just simply a sensory food processor. Your body is constantly in the processing of chemistry. And the average person, even biochemists, don't really understand it. You know, there's theories everywhere. And a theory can get you a cup of coffee nowhere. Maybe in some little cafe in my town, sitting around rapping about things. Mitochondria become dependent on glucose and glutamine for fuel. Give me a break. The body's going to seek fuel where it has to. And if you're going to starve the body for a sugar, which is insanity, has nothing to do about curing anything, and it's just one of the most ridiculous theories I've ever heard, you're going to go up to a fact. One animal eats like that. There is nothing in nature that eats like that, and you're trying to treat what you don't understand with a diet that's almost all acid base. I mean, acid ash forming foods. I mean, this guy's, they say what his diet is. This Dr. Robert Esslinger's. His ketogenic day is bulletproof coffee or some chia tea or black tea. Okay, I'll get with that maybe. It is made with a teaspoon of coconut oil, a teaspoon of butter. And yeah, here comes the butter and a lot of cream. Heavy cream. So, don't tell me he's not going to get a lot of congestion out of this one. Oh, yeah. Wow, this is amazing. Then he said, I skip breakfast and could say I practice intermittent fasting until lunch. Intermittent fasting till lunch? One should simply have a bowl of fruit and then you don't need anything till lunch. Why would you need to, in anything, eat a piece of fruit? But if I wanted to eat in the morning, it would be bacon and 2 eggs. Now, it's scrambled, though, because the beneficial of fat comes from a soft yolk. What? This is the kind of... I can imagine the consciousness of this individual. I mean, this is just unbelievable. I won't even go on for that one. Well, he's got 80% chocolate. He's got almond milk, coconut milk, raw eggs. Okay, I'll get you the raw egg. Could be a hard-boiled egg with asparagus or half a chicken breast with broccoli. Could be wild catch seafood and steamed veggies, especially the cruciferous ones. Everybody wants the sulfur ones. And then you have gas and bloaty stuff the rest of the day. I like that one. Want fried chicken? Get fried pork rinds from the butcher. Crush them with a rolling pin. I mean, this is a joke. When it comes to health, this ketogenic consciousness is a joke. And you don't want to fall into these things, especially if you're fighting the C word and your time is very limited. You cannot create ketosis in the human body and maintain it. They want you to maintain a state of ketosis and low blood sugar. What? I mean, this is a type of stupidity that abounds out there, and people are falling into this right and left because they don't understand truth and the simple remedy to their suffering. And I could go on, but it just... Let's see. Protein is also limited because once sugar is gone, cancer cells can access free amino acids from the breakdown of protein and use them as fuel. We just had that discussion. How stupid of a statement that is. Remember the cabin out in the woods and the snow comes and you can't get out of the cabin because the snow's above the door? And all you can do, your wood is packed up out on your porch. So you got a little bit of wood hanging around the fireplace, and basically I'm going to burn the curtains, the couch. I'm going to burn everything I can. Because the final analysis, if you can't get out, after you burn everything, where are you going? Your walls. You're going to break down the wood walls and burn your wood, that's your structure. And that's what burning amino acid for fuel is burning your structure. And they have the audacity to say that in there? You burn your structure for fuel, you burn amino acid for fuel, you're going to get yourself in major, major trouble. You'll start losing muscle, you're going to break yourself right down. And that is not a pretty picture and not a healthy picture whatsoever. I don't know where these people come from. This was in the Townsend newsletter, I believe. Yep. it was in the Townsend newsletter. We go through this because they have some good articles at times, but other things are just like ridiculous. You guys want to get real smart and not buy into a lot of this kind of stuff. This is just like insanity kind of stuff. And they call it a metabolitic dysfunction and all that. There's no dysfunction to anything. Life is simply cause and effect. And your diet is the key cause of whatever you're suffering from. If you're suffering from a state of health, then you're eating raw foods. And you're predominantly fruits, berries, melons, and salads. If you're suffering from dis-ease, then you're eating acid ash-forming foods. Grains, beans, meats, milks, crap like that. And unfortunately, that's the side that causes all man's problems. And until you correct that, you can treat it any way you want, with toxic pharmaceuticals, with ketogenic craziness, all this kind of stuff, and you ain't going anywhere. You're not going to get to Wellville and vitalness and robustness. Never. Never. And for those of you that are fighting tumors and you know, you're going down, this will just accelerate that. So you want to be very careful with how you do things out there. So I want to tie this into, I was sent this, but you know, I went over another one, very similar thing, these medical doctors here. So this is called the Alkaline Diet, an evidence-based review. Evidence, huh? That's interesting that this guy says that. Who's this by? Joe Leach, MS. Oh, MS. So he starts off pretty good. An alkaline diet seems a bit too good to be true. Proponents of this diet suggest that replacing acid-forming foods with alkaline-forming foods can improve the health, which is spot on. Spot on. Right? And that aligns with other universities who have learned this. They even claim that it can help fight serious diseases like cancer. See, right there, this individual loses reality because he buys into this whole concept of the illusion called diseases. There are actually quite a few people who swear by this diet and claim miraculous results. By the tens of thousands, Joe. By the tens of thousands, buddy. But there is any good evidence behind the alkaline diet? Let's have a good look. So, first of all, we're going to examine what he thinks is evidence that contradicts that. So we're going to contradict him. But, I've always said this. We can argue chemistry and physics and all this, but let's get down to the real reality of everything. Applied theories. Let's see your theory in application. And when we're done with this, you'll see that everybody already is living his theory. So, what's that? Our theory, everybody's getting better living his theory. Interesting. That's the final proof. You can claim and you can use intellectualism and you can talk about what we know in chemistry as facts or what you think you know about physiology, which most of them don't, and then we can argue those. But in the final analysis, in your application of your theory, demonstrate to me how people get to Wellville, how you regenerate, how do you get rid of diseases. Of course you can't, because diseases are incurable if you live in that world of unconsciousness. And it has nothing to do with chemistry. Diseases have nothing to do with chemistry. Diseases have nothing to do with physics. Diseases have what do they have anything to do with anyway? Do anybody know? Oh, they've got a medical doctor's name on them. Yeah, and all right. What is the alkaline diet? The alkaline diet is also known as the acid alkaline diet or alkaline ash diet. It is based around the idea that the food you eat can alter the acidity or alkalinity, the pH of your body. Now he's right there. He's right there. All right, but you'll see where he loses this. Let me explain how that works. When you metabolize foods and extract the energy calories from them, you are actually burning the foods, except what happens is it's slow and controlled fashion. Basically, you have digestion and enzymatic action on your foods. Whether you call it combustion, you call it digestion, whatever you want to call it. Right? You're breaking down, you're separating the more complex structures into the simplistic structures, right? Right. All right. Now, when you burn foods, they actually leave an ash residue. So when you break down your foods, basically you have an ash from this, which is your nutrients, basically. And those nutrients are either predominantly on the alkaline forming side or the acid forming side. All right? All right. As it turns out, this ash can be acidic or alkaline or neutral. Yep. And he's right so far. Right on. Proponents of this diet claim that this ash can directly affect the acidity of your body. All right? Now, if you eat foods with acid ash, it makes your body acidic. If you eat acid ash is thought, let's see. Yeah, it makes your body acidic. If you eat acid, wait a minute. Yeah, this has got to be the page. Well, it doesn't go into that. It doesn't even really rhyme here. But let me see what's going on. Thought to illness and disease, whereas alkaline ash is considered protective. Another acid ash is corrosive and alkaline ash is protective. By choosing more alkaline foods, you should be able to alkalize your diet and improve health. Right? Food components that leave an acid ash include protein, phosphate, and sulfur. While alkaline components include calcium, magnesium, and potassium. Yeah, your electrolytes. Right? Certain food groups are considered acid, alkaline, or neutral. Acid are your meat, your poultry, your fish, your dairy, your eggs, your grains, and your alcohol. Neutral fats, starches, and sugars. Alkaline is your fruits, your nuts. No, nuts are acidic forming. Sorry, legumes are acidic forming. Thank you. And vegetables. All right. Now, regular pH levels in the body. All right. So, when talking about the alkaline diet, it's important to understand the meaning of the pH value. Remember, pH is potential for hydrogen. Hydrogen is the universal element. So, and you never see hydrogen by itself, ever. Comes in pairs. You always see it linked together, like H2O. But I can steal that hydrogen away, make it a deficit, and make a hydroxide out of the oxygen side, and then I can make a hydrogen element out of the other side. Hydrogen is acidic. It is the universal acidic principle that is found almost in everything. And so pH is potential for hydrogen. The more hydrogen, the more acidic. The less hydrogen, the less acidic. Right? And of course, you know, it's from 0 to 14, Many proponents of this diet suggest that people monitor the pH of their urine using test strips, making sure that it is alkaline, pH over 7, and not acidic below 7. Now, if there's people doing that, that's a mistake. Because he's not quite... That's not what we look for. We look for acid urine. The problem is people have alkaline urine, and you don't want alkaline urine. Why? Because he's not considering the metabolites of the chemistry that you're ingesting. All right? So let's look at this, because here's where their problem is. Let me see. However, it is important to note that the pH value varies greatly within the body. Some parts are acidic, others are alkaline, and this is very, very true. Your pH is also always in a state of flux, because of everything is always in a state of flux. The stomach is loaded with hydrochloric acid, giving it a pH value between 2 and 3.5. Highly acidic, very much so. And remember our discussion when the stomach chyme moves into the duodenal area, something's got to pull that stomach acidity way up to about 7.5. Well, these are logarithms. So you're going from 2 to 3 is 10, 3 to 4 is 100, 4 to 5 is 1,000, 5 to 6 is what? 100,000, and it just keeps going up. Times hotter or cooler. I mean, logarithms are 10 by 10, and you start adding that up, it starts to make itself like, oh, wow, wow. You know, 6 is 10 times more acidic than 7. But if I'm down to 5, I'm 10 times 10 more acidic than 7. And it just keeps going down. So 2 is very, very hot. Anybody that's ever threw up stomach acids knows how that is. When you feel arthritis and stuff, that's your 3 pH. All right? All right. Now, the blood pH value, we all know that. The blood pH value is 3.5 to 4. I mean, 7.35 to 7.45. And if the blood gets acidic, of course, death is very imminent with that. All right, food affects the pH of your urine, but not your blood. How interesting he makes that claim. How, by the way? He needs to define himself, right? Okay, so it is critical for health that the pH of your blood remain consistent, and this is a big fact. And this is important for you guys to know, and what he needs to know, all right? It is where to fall outside of the normal range, your cells would stop working. Yeah, we get that. Your death, in other words. The fact is, food simply cannot change your blood pH, period. Okay? So let's stop a minute and think about that. You're eating acid ash forming food. So the predominant side of chemistry that you've developed in your digestive tract is acidic. Now this acids are absorbed interstitially and absorbed to the villi, into the capillaries, and some into the lymph system. We don't know quite all that's moved into the lymph system. We know the lipids are, and not into the blood. So we know some things about that sort of thing. But when you absorb these acid principles, they're going to absorb into your blood, right? So that directly affects blood pH. It can't, but it does. So now, how does the body correct that pH? They think bicarbonate is the only alkalizing element of the body. Remember we had a long discussion with Pat, the anatomy physiology professor? And what a lot of people don't understand, practitioners, particularly medical, is that you have to get with some of these studies these universities have done if you can't think on your own. When you have a patient coming in and you see spider veins, varicose veins, bruising easy, where do you think that comes from? You already know it's a loss of connective tissue. All right? So what in the world would do this? What in the world would affect the connective tissue? What about the connective tissue would the body want? You've got phosphorus, you've got more acid elements, sulfurs and everything. Oh, more cruciferous. You have a lot more sulfur to go into the blood. Thank you very much. So you get all these acid elements into the blood, but you can't change blood pH. Oh, but you can change blood pH. But you can't. So now, what does your body have to do to correct this pH? Put the bicarbonate to the side because there's not enough evidence to show that. And there's plenty of evidence by universities, famous universities, to show that you have a calcium buffering system. And that's what you see. If you live in some surreal world way away, okay, I don't care. But we live in facts here on this planet. And I have to tell you that when you see varicose veins or spider veins, what weakened the vascular wall? The loss of calcium. Why? Acidosis. You know, I can only tell you calcium doesn't come out indiscriminately. It comes out, and the opposite can be true. You can pull phosphorus out too. This is bone matrix or matrix for connective tissue. So it's enough to say that. Don't say that acids don't hit the blood. They do hit the blood. It's the blood now that has to rectify that. And that's why you see all these things happening with the vascular walls, aneurysms, all these things like that. And another proof of that? You want more proof of that? Mr. Joe? How about chemotherapy and a subclavian port right into the aorta? How many aortic aneurysms happen from this procedure? That's from acids going right into the aorta. And guess what the aorta's got to do? Suck its calcium right out of its connective tissue until you aneurysm. You herniate and then you pop. No. No. It is still a problem with acid ash forming foods. And let me tell you something that's more than chemistry. There's vibration and frequency. Anybody living on a high alkaline raw diet and then eat a piece of meat and these lower foods, it isn't just about the chemistry. It's about the vibration. It's about the consciousness of it. And how it also affects the cells in the body because they're little conscious beings. They don't even begin to understand that how consciousness affects consciousness. How all these states are bumping against each other. Not just chemistry. It's not just chemistry. That's just limited to the physical world. It's insane here. Now, the urine should be acidic, and we all know why, especially if you're filtering. If you're not filtering, the urine can get alkaline. We don't want alkaline urine. No. You want acid urine. No. These are metabolites. He hasn't even got to metabolites yet. That's metabolitic waste from the cells. This is just what you're eating getting into you. And that takes a toll. Now, how about the residues on the bowel wall? Since they're acidic, you get a blowback on the bowel wall, right? Plus, you also get a viscous, gluey substance called gluten. So all these things create impactions in the bowel wall, agglomulation. What happens under the acid sky? Agglomulation. You see, and that's also, let me tell you, even with the calcium buffering systems and the bicarbonate systems, the blood still can take a little hit. Anybody have blood cell analysis? What happens to your blood cells when you eat enzymatic dead food? Your blood cells start sticking to each other. You move that pH just a little bit, and now you have blood cells sticking. They follow each other like choo-choo trains, or you start little clusters, and that is not what you want. You know, and I agree 100%. But you cannot eat acid ash-forming foods for whatever reason. Because the ash will beat your tissues up and mucosa up, creates mucus from the mucosa. It just has a resounding effect all through your body. Then this chemistry is still in the blood. The blood's just bringing its pH up. So you still have the high phosphoruses and the sulfurs that the body has to deal with metabolytically. And they all convert to your phosphoric acids and all your carbonics and all these sort of things. And this is where the problem comes in. Then you have your fermentations and putrefactions. You can. And that's what you don't want, in my opinion. Eat a large steak and several hours later your urine will be more acidic as the body moves it from your system. You want that. But that's saying that metabolizes into acids. Absolutely. But if you're not filtering, it won't change your urine pH much. That being said, urine pH is actually a very poor indicator of all overall body pH. Yeah, I disagree a little bit with that, because when your urine is alkaline, what does that tell you? You're not filtering your metabolites, metabolitic waste out of the body. Okay? Now, therefore, even if you're using test strips and seeing that your urine has become alkaline, this has very little, if any, relevance in the alkalinity of your blood. Well, I agree with that. Your lymph system is not your blood system, and the kidneys are not about your blood system. The kidneys is about your lymph system. Your blood only uses the kidneys a little bit. The bicarbonate system in the kidneys don't feed the blood bicarbonate. It might pick up a little, but what do you think the kidneys produce bicarbonate? Wherever you see the potential to have acid blowback, and your urine is supposed to be acidic, wouldn't God produce a little bicarbonate to keep that from blowback on the cells? Absolutely. You got to realize these tissues, bladder, kidneys, have to take some degree of acids. That's why you've got to have bacteria in your lymph nodes, guys. That's why you don't want your pH of your urine too much below 6. And without proper bacteria in the body, I mean, these are the same people that believe that bacteria and all these people cause all the problems. They don't get this system and how the body uses buffers and how they deal with the acid-base issues. These are pseudo-thinkers here. And you guys don't want to be that way. You really want to understand what's going on here a little more. All right, acid-forming foods do not cause osteoporosis. Now get this, and this is where this guy is way off, way off. Because you have to realize the metabolites and the metabolitic waste from these type of foods as well. There is absorption. Hopefully you don't have a lot when you're eating acid-forming foods. But you've got these principles. Just because the blood stole a little calcium to bring its pH up, and maybe used a little bicarbonate, that doesn't change the fact that that's the nature of the chemistry. The nature, they put it this way, when you're looking at acid ash-forming foods, you're looking at a nitrogen-rich elements. When you're looking at alkaline-rich foods, you're looking at carbon-rich elements. And carbon is where we get our energy, not fermentation, carbon. And that's how you get your adenosines and all this other stuff, So, interesting. Osteoporosis is a progressive, I love this guy. When he starts getting into this, then he starts really showing himself. Osteoporosis is a progressive bone disease characterized by a decrease in bone mineral content. Why, Joe? Disease? There's no such thing. So, Joe, flip the disease to the side and explain to us all how you lose bone matrix. Disease, get rid of that because you're just riding on a surfboard to nowhere. So, how do you lose bone matrix? Calcium or phosphorus? Chemistry. chemistry. And the chemistry you ingest has everything to do with your health. And if you don't believe that, you're living in a world far, far, far away. And I submit to you that you need to get real here. All right? So, osteoporosis is particularly common among postmenopausal women and can drastically increase the risk of fractures. Really. Forgive me, guys, but enough of this stuff is ridiculous. These people are crazy. Many alkaline diet enthusiasts believe that in order to maintain a constant blood pH, the body takes alkaline minerals such as calcium from your bones to buffer the acids from the acid-forming foods you eat. My dear one, Joe, this has been proven by famous universities around the world. So you're wrong. We even read you the universities and what they discovered. There is a calcium buffering system, and when you understand that, it then explains why you have osteoporosis, why you have these things, instead of living in fairyland far away and not getting reality at this level. Fairies have their own reality, and it's a lot of fun. All right? According to this theory, acid-forming foods such as standard Western diet will cause a loss in bone mineral density, and it does, proven. Matter of fact, my dear man, you're not following your studies well. Matter of fact, they proved that consumption of pasteurized milk creates bone loss. Calcium loss in bones. Got to stay up with your, this theory is known as the acid-ash hypothesis of osteoporosis. Sorry, buddy, you're not keeping up with your studies. The glaring problem with this theory is that the function of the kidneys is completely ignored. No, I don't think you understand the completely function of the kidneys. Our kidneys are functional to remove acids. Oh, now you're got it. Acids and regulate body pH. What if, and it is not to regulate body pH, but what if you weren't filtering these acids from your lymph system? Now you got to remember, he's talking about blood acids. He's not talking about systemic acids here. He's talking about blood acids, because they don't understand the lymphatic system. He's on top of it a little bit, but he doesn't understand the fullness of what he's saying here, and the fullness of how important the kidneys are with the lymphatic system. That's their big miss. But they also miss biochemistry and stuff like this. This person misses these university studies showing calcium buffering system, and there's a cholesterol buffering system, which is more of the lymph system itself. The kidneys produce bicarbonate ions, yeah, but for its own self. You got to remember that acids are coming in from all points from the lymph system. So essential. And it goes back. The kidneys produce bicarbonate ions that neutralize acids in the blood. They're just fixated on the blood constantly. Sorry, there's a little bicarbonate in the blood from your digestive tract too, my friend. Bicarbonate is a small system. There's a huge calcium buffering system in the body. It's obvious. But you have to understand why. Okay? And the word we'll use is ionization. Okay? You have to understand that the chemistry is constantly in flux. If you bring phosphorus and sulfurs and the acids in, you're going to leach the alkalis, because you can't stop that. And I don't know what he's thinking. He's not a chemist, obviously, but this is chemistry. Your acids are going to steal the electrons out of these bases to bring them into homeostasis. That's the nature of ionization and the fluxing of chemistry. So, from that point of view of chemistry, he's way off. It's just a natural ebb. You're going to see that. And that's why all these pHs must be in balance, so you don't have the leaching of elements. Because you're going to have that as a natural phenomenon of magnetics. Chemistry has to follow magnetics. Chemistry is just electromagnetic energy, just frequencies of electromagnetic energy. And they follow the same thing. It's just understanding how the electrons are taken from different elements to bring some homeostasis, and then you have a neutralization, or another word we could say is hydration. And you see that. You see dehydration. See, it's kind of like he can't explain from his theory here. He can't explain anything. He can't explain dehydration. He can't explain any of this stuff. And that's a problem. And you see that theory today out there, and the ridiculousness of that theory. You know, unless you got this awareness, I wouldn't go up against this, because you got to learn this, and then you can go up against people like this all the time. If you want to go up against someone like this, then you do it with theories. All right? I get your theory. Let's see your theory in practice. Everybody's full of diseases, and there's no cure with your theory. Now, with our theory, damn, everybody's getting cured of your diseases. Strange. Yeah, so that's where you got them. It's the actual theory in practice. You can't get no better than that. That's the end all. That's in the court. This is the proof, the evidence. You don't get any better than that. The rest of this is just him hypothesizing medical journals and stuff like that, and it's like ridiculous because those guys need to bring their medical journals a little up to date. Ridiculous. Let me see. Let me see. Our respiratory system is also involved in controlling blood pH. Yeah, there's bicarbonate everywhere, and this is another person crazy in bicarbonate. But what he is not keeping up is with the university studies and showing the calcium buffering system, which actually just makes everything understandable. You've got to get away from the concept of diseases because then you live in this artificial world of unconsciousness. People are doing just what this man is saying. They're eating acid-ash foods, and take a look at what's happening to their bodies. And the proof is, and yes, we can lay claim and proof that an alkaline ash diet cures those conditions created by acid ash diets. The bones are actually not involved in this process at all. Yeah, you have a whole body full of metabolitic waste and a whole sewer system that's 80% of interstitial fluid. Explain that, Joe. What goes on there, Joe? Another problem is with the acid-ash hypothesis that ignores one of the main drivers of osteoporosis, a loss in the protein collagen from bone. Yeah, understand acidosis and see what happens. Ironically, this loss of collagen is strongly linked to the low levels of oxalic acid, or whatever you pronounce that, and ascorbic acid, vitamin C, and oh, give me a friggin' break. Lost in that sort of thinking. Doesn't even take parathyroid, calcium utilization, any of those things. This guy, and when he gets into what about acidity and cancer, I didn't even read it. I'm going to waste my time. Don't waste your time with these jokers. They don't know what causes anything. They're just reflecting medical thinking, which, take a look at the medical world. How many cures you got there? In anything. Contrary to popular belief, high-protein diets, acid forming, are actually linked with healthier bones. Nah, I don't care what. He cites 3 sites. Lying. This is not true. High-protein diets are linked with osteoporosis, big time. Very easy to understand why. Not just from the acid factors, but from the phosphorus factors. You have to understand phosphorus is the little brother in chemistry, not the big brother. And you start having high phosphorus diets, bye-bye calcium, the natural process of proper family pHs. You know, the whole chemical family, everybody's family members, even some of the gnarly ones like, excuse me, like arsenic and things like that. These are all family members, but in proper ratios. And these ratios are vital to keep. When you mess with the ratios, it's messing with the pH. He's just stuck on pH, but you've got to get in the ratios of chemistry, and proper ratios are vital to understand. And you load your body high nitrogen phosphorus, that's antagonistic to all the other vertebrates. All the other vertebrates on this planet eat high carbon diets, except for the cat, which their diet is more lipid protein because of the nature of them. Somebody's got to get rid of the dying and dead, but they pay a stiff price for that. See, we're going by his thinking, you're living in a world of diseases and you're living in an unconscious world. And what the statement he made about high-protein diets is false. Very false. You keep on a high-protein diet, and I'll show you what happens to your bones. All right, this area of research is, now this is what I love. They followed this up real quick. This area of research is not definite by any means, but it does suggest that animal protein, the most acidic forming food of all, is actually beneficial for bone health. Right. That is you saying that you're saying that I'm a meat eater, Joe's a meat eater, and he wants to keep eating meat, so he wants to explain why it's good for you. That's what that is. Looking at clinical trials, real science. You want to look at real science, Joe? Then why don't you start looking at some of the universities that have real science? Medical science can't seem to be duplicated by a lot of universities for some reason. That's interesting, because if it's science, you can duplicate it every time. And we're not ignorant people here. We're biochemistry professors, anatomy, physics. Are you calling us ignorant? That might get you a little bit of a problem there, man. It's unbelievable. Real science. Many large reviews have concluded that acid-forming diets have no impact on calcium levels in the body. You are wrong. And those are studies bought and paid for. Those are not good studies at all. There's more studies showing the calcium buffering systems and the other problems. So, you're wrong, bro. But, the proof is in the final analysis. All right? I feel like Judge Judy sometimes, Jesus Christ. If anything, they improve bone health by increasing calcium retention and activating the GF. This guy's lost in space. And I'm not going to waste any more of your or my time on this one. More it is the time. Oh, good. Oh, good. Oh, good. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to cut this one off. And then we'll start with Q&A on a new one. Is that okay? And then that way you'll have this short one, and then we can start right in. I hate to mix them, but man, forgive me. I get a little not annoyed, but it just when you get this level of ignorance that's out there, and they're standing up for theories that obviously man's suffering with. And this is just another person out there creating more illusions and more fear amongst people and confusion amongst people with these diets. But we're going to retrace so you understand that. Go back to the video of me and Pat where we tell you the universities that talk about the calcium buffering system. But even if you didn't know that, you can see it. You can witness it. When you start understanding real science, not his real science, which can't be duplicated, anybody can say real on their science, anybody can call anybody quacks, but your theories must, in application, must hold what you're talking about, Joe. You can't just sit out there and spouse what you think without you backing it up. Not in labs. I want you to work on real people. Joe doesn't know what it is to cure anybody of anything. That's obvious. So, Joe, I want you to show us your theory in actuality, and we'll show you our tens of thousands of people worldwide curing all the things that you say that can't be. So I love you guys. Sorry about that one, but these people like Joe just need to get a little bit more awake. And they're part of the problem, not part of the solution. And Townsend people need to get themselves much more awake. They keep getting all these people focusing around diseases, but from a more naturopathic medicine point of view, which is ridiculous. So don't buy into some of these things. Remember, applied theories are where the truth really is. We don't know all of science, but we know enough to dispel all of that crap. So love you guys, and I'll be right back on a new video. Same shirt though. Oh, I could use this one. Yeah. Alright, new video. See? It's a new video, new shirt. That's from the class. I love it. I love it. Welcome back. We didn't go too far, did we? All right, dear ones. I love you guys. Thanks for hanging in with this old man. All right. Our little sweetie starts the day off. Good, good, good. Everybody get relaxed. Get away from the Joes and all the insanity of people that just don't know what's up. Don't ever let anybody take you off your fear or give you fear or take you off your point. Proof is in the pudding. Proof is in the actual working of these programs. And you can see them and you can feel them. This man's never done it. He stands on the outside trying to judge from an idiocy type of thinking that doesn't hold any water. None of it's true. Make statements that are false. See, when you can't explain anything in the body and you just throw it into diseases, you don't even bother your time. It isn't even worth it. Sometimes these people, it isn't even worth it to talk to them. Unless they have some openness where you can get in, you understand chemistry a little more than this guy does, which is not difficult. So, and I'm an old farm boy, and that's ridiculous. All right. So, my grandson has this infection on his cheek, which is now showing up on his other cheek. In the spring, we thought it was eczema and would flare up if he was outside and got hot. About 6 weeks ago, it showed up and never went away. Grew bigger. Tried coconut oil. Seemed to irritate it. Tried a geranium essential oil with shea butter. It increased irritation. Took him to see a pediatrician because it became oozy. Oozy. Ooh! Prescribed antibiotic. Oh, Lord, here we go. Here we go. He started a probiotic. Okay, that's okay. I mean, when we thought it was eczema and have continued the probiotic along with the antibiotic. Dr. Morris, what do you recommend? Pediatrician said he has a skin bacteria. Again, let me show you this, guys. See this little fella? Look at that. Okay, my dear, is this my grandson? So I'm either talking to a grandma or grandpa. Well, make sure the mama listens to this one, because I tell you what, you don't understand what this one is, and you let these medical doctors keep this bull crap that they're into. This is a bacteria on the skin, and feed your son antibiotics. You're going to get your son in a lot of trouble. You cannot use antibiotics on these kids and kill these bacteria in the lymph nodes. They'll have no way to get this out of them, or at least, you know, be in a way without pain. So it's oozing. So when you see something like that oozing, what's your first thought? Blood? No, lymph. This is lymph. And the first thing, when a medical doctor says infection, your next word is, oh, lymph. This is all acidic. This is lymph. Now, the sad thing is, I hope he still has these tonsils and stuff, because you've got to pull all this down, and be careful, because he could get real swollen under here as well. You've got to pull this out of him. This isn't treatment. You can't put anything on this. This is already full. It's oozing and wants to ooze out. You can pop it like a pimple, maybe. Or your pediatrician should have just stuck a needle in it and aspirated it. I mean, it's just systemic waste. It's just, it's metabolites. It's your sewer system. But the sad thing, it's in this young man's face already at 4. I've been talking to the guys about this. You know, I've been 45 years in this, and I've watched. And it's just been coming up, 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 and now we have all kinds of tumors and everything. And years ago, we never saw so much up here. Oh, it's a mess. And at 4, this is horrible. The parents, you got to listen to this, because this lad could be heading into lymphomas, heading to anything, a brain tumor with this. I'm dead serious. This is where you don't want him to get attached to the AMA or another sad case. We got a bunch of them right now. Mamas are realizing the problem, trying to run or get away from it, and it's hard. So You need to detoxify your kid. Needs to be on fruits, 4 years old, only fruit. I put him on a fruit diet. Now, you could probably just get by with a maybe 2 kidney formulas, an adrenal gland formula, 1 lymphatic, 1 liquid. 4 years old, it's only about 3 or 4 drops, depending on his weight. And that's really where the focus could be. That's all you really needed to do with this lad right now, and really had. But if you get a picture of his eyes, it would be beneficial to the mother and the father to see just what the genetics are and what the lymph system is and what they have coming if they don't correct this. This is not good. But remember, everybody ever pick their face? You have a lot. This is a channel. You have a sinus channel. You can see right where these channels are. You can see where these lymph channels are because moles grow on those channels. You get warts and moles growing on your lymphatic channels. But you want to. It's a pleasant, I know, but you want to get this young lad taken care of. The key here for you was oozing. To be honest with you, the key was oozing. But it doesn't matter. That's all lymph anyway. Blood doesn't do things like this. You see a little rosacea there type of thing, so it could be affecting the capillaries a little bit. But, you know, that just, ugh. And it's on both cheeks, so that means bilateral issues. And that means both kidneys are involved, the adrenal glands are involved. So this little cutie needs to be fixed up. And you're going to have to detox this little kid. There's no way. You start treating this lad, you're going to call me in a year from now, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 4 years, with sad stories. Okay? Very important.
Well, yes.
This is Miss Bishop. Thank you for your time spent reading this email. I hope all is well. Thank you, dear one. That's a spiritual thing to say. I am interested in becoming a member of your amazing club. However, I do have some questions. Shoot away, my dear. I am a breastfeeding mother of an 8-month-old baby. And from my understanding, it is good to detox while breastfeeding. It is not good to detox while breastfeeding. It doesn't matter, but it depends on the level you want to detox, to tell you the truth. You could take herbs and superfoods and things like this, but when you get into your lymphatic herbs, that'll detox your children faster. So I kind of leave those off when I'm detoxing breastfeeding mothers. But mother's genetics are baby's genetics. Mother's lymph is baby's lymph. So what mother needs, baby needs. Herbal-wise, and it's not remember, it isn't always detox. There's rebuilding to this. And when you have infants, they're going to be genetically remembering the cells if you give them the right foods. In other words, while they're growing in their infancy, you don't realize if you do this right, you're going to work out these genetic weaknesses out of their bodies, and you're going to bring these children into levels that most of the children are not going to see right now. So don't be afraid to work on babies. They're just little adults, so don't be afraid to work on them. 8 months, you should have them on fruit, some fruit juices, applesauce, cinnamon. Start breaking them into fruits because, another 6 months or so, you want to be off breastfeeding if you can. And you want to note, Mom, get your breast milk, pH paper. Make sure your breast milk isn't acidic, because if you're eating acid-forming foods, the chances of your breast milk being acidic is true. And I don't care what Joe says, ash-forming foods will have an acid blowback in your body, period, end of story. And another little thought is, with all this agglomulation, all these buffering systems can be slammed, shut down. So I would like to breastfeed as long as possible. No, I want you to rethink that one. You want to breastfeed as long as your infant can get healthy from it. Not as long as you think it needs it. You want to know that your baby's getting healthy. And when you take that baby too far into the milk world, they start getting mucousy and colicky. And when your baby starts spitting up and stuff like that, no, or you're going to give your babies a lot of mucus. And if your babies are like this young lad here, it could form tumors from that. I mean, this lad is close to forming tumors. See that? It's not a stretch. So the family of this lad wants to get with this and detox this young four-year-old now. You don't mess around with that. You don't go to your pediatricians or your skin people and have them look. You'll play a nightmare game here that has no beginning and a not a good end. And with a young youth like this, you'll give them tumors without even a snap of a finger. What are my options? And you can take good herbs, though, for yourself and your baby while you're breastfeeding. Kidney formulas, endocrine gland formulas, adrenal formulas, oh yeah, brain and nerve formulas, oh yeah. You can build your infant up strong and healthy, oh yeah. But you want to make sure your breast milk, honey, is not acidic. If it is, you got to change that. You got to get it all raw and make sure your breast milk is alkaline. Also, my daughter has had health problems. She had meningitis. Yeah, meningitis at 1 week old. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what your lymph system is like, sweetheart. You really want to be thinking about your lymph system, your kidneys and adrenals, and your babies. Was hospitalized for 1 month and on Lovenox blood thinner for 2 to 3 months after. She has recovered from all very well and seems to be a healthy, strong, and smart baby. She is being monitored for hydroencephalitis, I get that, which is currently not causing her any problems or any urgency to do surgery. This is why you need to have her on all raw and have your babies on fruits and get your babies regenerated. This will regenerate all this, and there's no need for anything. You got to realize the body can regenerate itself completely. Would you recommend her to take the detox or be seen as a client? We are in Houston, Texas. Yeah. Oh man, you guys got a kick. No, I've been through Houston a lot. But when man builds under sea level, I don't know what to say about that. Oh, this is cute. Alexia and baby Freya, F-R-E-Y-A. But, honey, you want to be thinking about this. You want to make sure your breast milk's alkaline. 2, you want to get your babies on, when your babies are off the milk, you want them eating fruits, berries, and melons. These are the most nutritious foods on the planet. These are the most electrical foods on the planet. So why would they be specific for humans and primates? Because we're the most electrical beings on the planet. Look at the frequencies of all these beings. The human, well, the average human lost his frequency for sure. But go after these babies, honey. If you need any more advice with this, talk to the girls. Jennifer Willette is, all her babies have been all raw. I'm sure we got a lot of YouTubers all raw and things. So don't really want to get with that, and get these babies turned around, because you don't want tumors and stuff, and that's what we're seeing. Hello, doctor, from Fresno, California. My case is strange. I developed a DVT and it went undiagnosed for 4 months. It permanently destroyed the valves in my veins. Oh. You're talking about deep vein thrombosis? But what caused that? All right, so you say it destroyed your valves, right? Or your gates, however you wish to look at that. Then how is that possible? See, what you have to understand is that everything is made of cells, and cells do produce acid metabolites. And if you can't remove them, what happens? Not alkalinity. Alkalinity doesn't destroy anything. And deep vein thrombosis, that's just from acidosis. So I can't sit or stand because my blood pools in my leg. I get that. Jesus criminy, man. You want to be on 100% fruits and berries and melons. That's it. That's how I lived for a while. I would do my upper and lower circulations, and I'd go after my kidneys and everything else. And by the way, I would say 100% raw, and let your body rebuild. Rebuild the valves, rebuild the gates, rebuild all of this. Your body can even rebuild new neural pathways. So, and be new vascular pathways as well. Easier to build new vascular pathways, but we've seen all new neural pathways as well, especially when you're all plated up. Because it was idiopathic and has no known cause. It has no known cause to the medical community, but if you pull back and look at the two effects of chemistry, again, you can't listen to the Joes up there because they don't understand how the body works. But you can pull back and look at the two sides of chemistry, and it's quite apparent when you do that which side of chemistry is corrosive and agglomerative. So, however you want to blame that, but most metabolites or metabolitic wastes are acids, Doctors say I should be on whatever this is, a blood thinner for life because it was idiopathic and has no blood thinner for life. No, 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 no. See, that's what I'm talking about, blood pHs here. And acid ash forming foods and enzymatic foods. You know, there's another thing that people don't talk about is that the raw foods are enzymatic, enzyme rich. Cooked foods are enzymatic dead. That's another big deal when it comes to blood and digestion and all the factors in the body. So these enzymes that come in the raw foods are key factors in its own support of digestion and utilization. So you have to look at everything holistically. This person does not, in terms of looking at the bicarbonate and the fact that he doesn't understand the calcium draw system and any of that. You can't live in that world. You have to pull back and take a look at what's going on. When you pull back and you're not lost in medical journals of ignorance, and you can pull back, you can see it all. It becomes quite plain as the nose on your face. I feel like there's a solution to this that these doctors don't know. Well, first of all, fruits and berries and melons will keep the blood viscosity and pH perfect. Any clustering or clumping of blood cells will cease to exist. And that because they're enzymatic rich as well. So this will cease that problem. If indeed you have valve or gate problems, which is interesting to me that you would lose those, all of those, I'm not sure. But I don't always trust everything they tell you. But work with that all fruit, berry, and melon diet for a while, my friend, and go in after these sort of things. Work with the circulation formulas because they also keep the blood nice. Good herbs for the circulatory system. Strengthening. Make sure your parathyroid and everything is good for that. It caused 9 months of anxiety and sadness to my family and wife-to-be. Guess how old this person is? 24. 24. Damn. Jesus. It's all over the damn place. 24, and I feel like my life had stopped. That's with 2 P's. I also get pressure in my head. There you go. And that's not from the blood, my dear man. That's from your lymph system. That's not blood pressure. This is lymph pressure. The one they don't understand. It's just telling your lymph system is a mess, and you're not filtering, and you don't want the head pressure, son. And this is just what you're all suffering with. And I might be suffered a pulmonary embolism that has affected my hearing and my lungs. Please help. God bless. Same to you. Listen, you got to get on the fruit, berry, and melon diet. You don't even want vegetables. Not with this problem. You don't want vegetables. You want fruits, berries, and melons only. And go on a diet of those for a few months, and it'll start correcting the blood. It'll start opening this up. At the same time, I'm going to advise you to get into some herbs for the kidneys, the adrenals. You know, go after your body lymphatically, your gut, because you got to break this pressure loose, and your GI tract, especially your transverse bowel, has a big symbiotic relationship with that. So you've got to work on the gut as well to break all this loose. So you want to do that like yesterday, son. You're only 24 years old. That's the sad thing about this whole thing. All you young people are suffering, and we're going to be here to fix you all up. Let me tell you, none of us are going anywhere, and we're here to fix you up. You guys have got a lot to do to help us out there, and to help all these young people that are in very bad ways. I wish I could pronounce it, because I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but it's R-A-P-U-N-Z-E-L. Rapunzel! I know you! I collect my urine in a small jar every now and then. It is slightly yellow and not cloudy, which proves no visible filtering. Absolutely. If you let down that long hair, Rapunzel, you just might have kidney filtration. But if I leave it in a jar for a day, then it turns cloudy and there is visible sediment. Well, you know what? Thank God there is this minor filtration. There is filtration for most people. When you stop completely, you are in deep, deep crap. And I'm going to submit to you that's probably when you start seeing the chronic levels like lupus and Lyme's and fibromyalgia, systemic acidosis so much. That's when you really, start to see that. But if I leave it in, okay, the cloudy and the visible sediments, spiral mucus on the bottom of the bar. Yes, and that's what you want. You know, but the more that you work on that, the more you work on filtration, the more you pee, the more you'll pee cloudy. And more of it there is. And that's what you're looking for. And this is a good thing, too, because as soon as you don't even see that part. You know, you're going to look at tumors and cysts and things like this. Boils, pimples. You know. About a 1/4 inch of it in a 3-inch tail jar. Inch diameter, a spice shaker jar. So would Dr. Moore say it proves kidneys are slightly filtering? Absolutely would. Absolutely would. It's time to settle to the bottom. Absolutely do. I think so, don't you? Yep, I do. But, you know, I notice when people filter, they're pretty cloudy when they pee. When I'm filtering, my pee's pretty cloudy. I can tell when I'm not filtering. You know, I can't say that you're going to filter every single time just because of the nature of the chemistry you're eating in life, maybe. But filtering we must. And we've seen the evidence, and we've witnessed the evidence, and every practitioner that works for me sees the evidence that if you don't, what's happening? And as soon as we get you to filter, everything changes. That's pretty exciting, isn't it? Asbestos-filled fibers. And again, the only way you're going to get out all of this stuff is through detoxification. Remember this. Again, going back to acid and base. Acids like to hold things around and chew on them. Bases like to invigorate them and get them moving. So when you're stagnant in the lungs, highly acidic, highly full of mucus, you can imagine. Highly acidic. So you can imagine that anything you smoke or inhale has the probability of hanging around a while. And of course, nothing like having little fiberglass fibers in you. Little pieces of glass. You know, I was a builder. I mean, I built custom homes for years, and it's like I quit doing my own insulation work years ago. I did it myself to save money, and then I got to thinking all this fiberglass. Yuck! Same thing with treated lumber. You know, I've used so much treated lumber, saw it and everything. No one said it was full of arsenic till Home Depot goes, arsenic! Oh, well, thanks for telling us. So, I read the book of Dr. Morrison. I want to ask a question, please. I inhaled asbestos fibers. Is there any way I can clean it from my lung? Absolutely. And I would sip on the 3-lung tea, just sip on it throughout the day, and use the Lungs 2 formula at the same time. I'm on a living food diet. I'm going to go up to fruits, berries, and melons. They're astringent, and at some time or another, you're going to have a bronchitis or pneumonia-type feelings. You do not stop those. You allow all this mucus and all this, I don't care how bad you get. If you feel like you can't breathe, go into the hospital, get an inhaler or something, but allow for expectoration and allow these fibers to come out. It will, just like splinters. But you want to put your body in the proper chemical side to do this. If you put your body in an acid medium, it has an agglomulation effect. It has a cationic effect. And the opposite is true with the base side. You know, and so think of that with radiation, think of that with asbestos, think of that with all things. Things like to stay home when you're acidic. They like to hang around heavy metals, chemicals, toxicities, neurotoxins, excitotoxins. They like to hang around when you're acidic. When you're base, get out of here. Then they take a hike. It might not be fun though, because you will probably go through a little bronchitis, pneumonia type of feeling. So what? I mean, medical doctors, they can't cure anything anyway, and most people die from pneumonia from the treatment, not from pneumonia. I've never seen anybody die from pneumonia. Not here. We get triple pneumonias in here. Clean them right up. I mean, it's just ridiculous out there. It's known that the body doesn't break it down. No, but it can expectorate it. Please, your help. Thank you so much for your answer. No, but the body can expectorate it, my friend. What the body can't break down, the body can get out. But you've got this way, and I don't think you want them any other way. It's like a lung cancer. You're going to get probably over half of the tumors out. Not pleasant, but better that way than carrying them all the way through. This is Bowitzky and I just wanted to say thank you, Dr. Morse. Oh, thank you. I've been in remission from Graves' disease for 3 years and disease-free since February. Absolutely. Always free. Good job, honey. I just had my annual checkup with my endocrinologist, and he says I am in great shape. You know, hyperthyroidism is very, very easy, guys. I mean, any hyper state in the body is easy to deal with. Any hyper state is easy to deal with. You do not treat that state, and you don't cut out your thyroid when you do it. I have been taking your adrenal formula daily for a few years now, probably forever, but that's okay. I am also on a strict paleo diet, and I do eat a lot of fresh organic fruits and vegetables. Get off the meat! Get off the paleo! Damn, you guys. It is amazing what this diet can do. Ditch the paleo, and it'll do even more amazing things, honey. Additionally, I am seeing a naturopath and acupuncturist in my area who have helped me with a few other little ailments, such as parasites. I cannot believe how much havoc parasites can create. Oh, yeah, I love that show, Monsters Within Me. Yuck! Yuck! I mean, I can't even watch it anymore. Terrible. Terrible. I cannot believe how much, The mainstream doctors thought that I had lupus as I had the bizarre anti-DNA antibody. It does, see, they jump on these names, and even this about antibodies and stuff like this, and it's like, it doesn't matter what the antigen is and what the antibody is. Doesn't matter. You know, your body has to get rid of all these antigens, and that's what you do when you detox. All right? But you have to detox this. You can't expect all your antibodies and everybody else to come in. But I've had people with antibodies shooting the roof with all types of goiters and everything else. And easy to get out. You got to detox these things out, though. But it just shows you that it's acid-based diets that causes it. It goes back to that all the time. I think my question is more to help educate others. Can you please talk about the prevalence of parasites in patients who are suffering with autoimmune diseases such as fibromyalgia and lupus? Okay, I'll stop right there. First, let me back up and say there's no such thing as autoimmune diseases. So you might not want me to speak on that, but there's no such thing as autoimmune diseases. Anybody ever claims an autoimmune disease, walk away. Because what they have to say has nothing to do with truth. They don't even know what they have to say. So there is no such thing as autoimmune diseases. Every single thing that you see and experience in creation is cause and effect and nothing else. There's not room for anything else. It's cause and effect. So, just because man doesn't want to accept the reality that he has been stupid in his level of awareness in diet and everything else. But that was already created that way. This all comes out of the body of God, man. So, but it's enough to say that these are not autoimmune problems. Parasites deal with terrain or with cause and effect. You create we'll go back to the ketogenic. You create a fermented or putrefactive environment. You better expect microbes, because if they don't help you, you're not going to like where your body's going to go, and real fast. You're not going to like how you smell. You're not going to like how you feel. And you're not going to like how your body's crumbling apart. You need all the bacterium and fungal help you can get. If you don't want the gnarly ones in, then quit eating the gnarly acid-forming foods. Acid-forming food parasites are different than base-forming parasites. Everything has its own bacterium. If you blame them, there's the problem. The problem is unawareness. That's not the problem people have to worry about. If you want me to address autoimmune, I have one word for you. One word for autoimmune diseases. And that one word, my precious ones, is called the lymphatic system. One word, or two. System. You understand that system. And you understand a little bit of acid and base, and you use those when you're looking at all the things, because that's what you're judging on. Joe was wanting real science. Okay, real science is chemistry and physics here on this planet, not theories of chemistry and physics, not theories. What we know factually, and it's not a lot. Let me tell you, chemistry is a world of theories, not a lot of facts. That's enough to say, if you want the world of real science, then you're not into autoimmune thinking. You're not into this. You're into facts. You're into cause and effect. You're into chemistry. You're into ionization, your oxidation. You're into this whole process that goes on in digestion, absorption, utilization, and elimination. Remember, our body is a sensory food processor. And that's all we do is process chemistry. And if they don't understand that anytime you have a house that processes chemistry, you have kitchens and bathrooms, then they're always going to be deficient and have a lack of understanding, and they're going to brainwash the rest of the citizenry of this ignorance. And that's just what the medical people have done. So everybody's saying, what do you do with an autoimmune problem? Nothing, because nothing can be done with them because they don't exist. Lymphatic system. Fix that. You know what? It's funny. It's when you fix that system, what once was called an autoimmune problem just doesn't seem to exist anymore. Interesting. There must be some phenomena out there or something, you know. Cause and effect. Cause and effect. Remember that. Not fairy stuff that doesn't exist. No offense to the fairylands, because they're beautiful beings. So no offense to that world. I think my question is more, okay, such as fibromyalgia and lupus. All right? So how many people got cured with lupus, fibromyalgia, and Lyme's treating parasites? Spirochetes? No, you can't cure it. Spirochetes? How many people? None. How many people got cured of those three problems using detoxification and proper understanding of the body and how to fix it? Everybody almost that hung in there. So I don't know what to say about that. That's how I explain autoimmune diseases, honey. They don't exist. And you'll be way ahead of everyone else if you dump that and give it back to the medical community and say, since you created it, you find a cure. We have a cure for all our stuff. It seems once the immune system is unhealthy, that these nasty critters take over. Those nasty critters. Yeah! I love how you think. But when the body gets dirty, these nasty little creatures, why do you think microorganisms exist? I want you to go back and think of this. You're in a world and on a planet where you have birth, life, and death. You are only here with awareness and consciousness. Your body is here out of the materials of this world. So, where was I going with that? Dang. Oh. So when you look at why microbes exist, they exist to keep nature clean. They exist to keep your body clean. It is the humans that put in the nasty putrefactive and fermented foods and then claim we're going to live off the fermentation energy? What? Whoa. Critters are always going to live in the barnyard. Oh, farm boy, you're always going to be critters in the barnyard. And guess who has the best immune system? Farm boys slopping the mud, or city slickers living inside the house? The country boys slinging the mud. So you got to look at that and understand why. Understand your immune system. But would you explain to me, my dear one, what your immune system is and where is it? Matter of fact, would you medical doctors explain to me what's your immune system and where is it? Two words. Lymphatic system. You got immune cells all around the body, no question. In strategic places, absolutely. And if you wanted to look at that, why is the macrophages in the lymph nodes for? Why aren't they in the soft tissue? Hungry little fellows that they are. So you see what I'm saying? People are not putting these things together like they should, and they're still buying into this ridiculous of autoimmune crap and stuff like this. My dear ones, they do not exist. As soon as someone says autoimmune, you know immediately they're ignorant of any cause of what you have going on, and you want to kind of walk away, because if you don't know what causes something, how do you fix it? Properly, that is. So how can you make the immune system unhealthy? Well, since there's only two sides of chemistry, and everything is either fluids or cells, and that the cells basically are chemical elements, but your fluids, of course, are all chemistry. Everything's chemistry, so where does dirty come in? If you're going to talk dirty, let's talk dirty. Phosphorus, sulfur. Let's talk dirty. These are your acid principles. And these are dirty principles. Any acid can be a dirty principle. And there's a lot of dirty chemistry on the planet. So when we say dirty, we're talking about chemistry that shouldn't be there, or fermentation and putrefaction. That's when you see the nasty little critters. So let's say that there's this beautiful deer over there on the highway, just crossing the highway. Oh, shoot, a car just hit it. Now, if I run over there and look at this deer laying on the road, I'll lay you $1,000 bill. Someone's going to beat me to him, and it's not a human. Flies. Flies are the quickest to respond to death or the putrefaction that I've ever seen. They're there. I've seen hunters shoot a deer, and by the time they get over there, the flies are already around it. Nature cleans itself. Nature takes care of itself. I think the problem is there's not due respect to the Creator for all this beauty and how everything is interlaced. You get this intellectualism going and this academic elitist narcissism going, and pretty soon you forget about the Creator and the fact that all this is working just like it should be. It's just that when you live on the dirty side of chemistry, which is the acid-forming food side, that's just what you're going to get. No matter if these medical doctors think that bicarbonate, we dispersed that a long time ago, and it'll be the last time I do. You know, if they can't get with it, let them live in their world of diseases and unhealthiness. We're not going to live there. It seems once the immune system, I don't think many doctors know about this, but at least 3, including my dentist, endo, and a neurologist, you know what I'm talking about, are open to some of these ideas. My endo was surprised, as he was the first doctor I saw when I had symptoms last year, but thought that it made sense. I was treated with diatomaceous earth, MEH, but it worked. I know that there are other herbal treatments as well. Can you also discuss the pluses and minuses of the treatments and how to identify which organism is causing the issue? Nope. Not my field. If you want to go that way, then you'll need a medical doctor or some naturopath who thinks he's a medical doctor, and you can just look up all the microbes. I mean, you could probably, I don't know how you're going to get all inside to get your microbes, but I guess you could do all kinds of biopsies and scraping of tissue and go play that game. You don't even want to go there. You're thinking, you got to get your thinking turned around a little bit differently, because it isn't about microbes. It's not even close to about microbes. Oh, they can be problematic, no question. Look at the monsters within you. But you have to set up the territory, the inner terrain, what I call culturing medium for this. The culturing medium for E. coli is not the same as for staph and strep or for pneumococcus. Everything is different. Who cares? I don't care about microbes at all. I love those little babies. But if you're overwhelmed with them, then you're overwhelmed with what? Sewage in the body. And sewage in the body, you talk about your dirty body, is what? System. Since everything is a system, things are not just floating around nowhere. There's systems, pipes to all the tissues. The lymphatic system, the sewer system. Once everybody gets that, then this planet should have an aha moment. Annie, we got to get you turned around here a little bit. What do you think about kinesiology? My practitioner uses applied kinesiology. Good, I love it, kinesiology. I love it. God bless you and your staff. Thank you, my dear one. And I don't know what would have happened to me if it wasn't for your staff recommending the adrenal formula when I was extremely hyper. You know, here's the thing. You still want to clean your lymph system out. If you have not done deep detoxification, I suggest you get onto it and get in deeper. Get your GI tract cleaned up, get your lymph cleaned up here, get your kidneys filtering. Take a look at your eyes, sweetheart, and see where you are on that. Just because you're not in the hyper stage right now doesn't mean you don't have lymphatic problems and things like that. You need to take a look at that. If you ever wanted to use a word in synonymous with autoimmune, lymphatic system.
Yes. Yes.
And I got those down. I am doing this is good morning. I am doing the grape detox as I have lung cancer. I read the original branded grape cure last night. I am a little concerned as she wants me to drink water 12 hours at night, then grape mush in the day. No, read the book, but if you're with us, you have to follow us. We don't do her treatment. Just eat them, honey. And if you have lung cancer, I wouldn't even juice them. I would recommend you not do all that water. Because, again, when you're highly acidic, what happens with the water in the body? It's osmotically pulled into these dense areas to bring some neutralization, some hydration if possible. Unfortunately, that's really an alkaline principle, and it could pull in some electrolytes to do that as well, and it would have to steal them to do it if you're not eating them. That's another question for Joe. What if you're not consuming your electrolytes? Most ash forming foods, you have to cook them. What about all of that? You see, this is the pseudo-thinkers. There's a lot to look at when you eat processed and cooked foods, and then on top of it, make them acid ash forming foods. A lot to think about. And if you think the bicarbonate systems in the body are going to take care of all that, gravely mistaken. As they are. So I wouldn't do those. I would just simply eat grapes. Get your darker ones, like your moon drops and things like that, big old dark ones, and enjoy them. And just go on a grape diet. Don't drink all this water or anything else. Plenty of water in all those grapes. But if you're thirsty, drink. But I wouldn't follow that book, and we know more. Get on an herbal program to get your kidneys and everything going. Fix that side of it with this. And trust the way we do it. We've had a lot more years. This book is early 1900s, honey. But look at what she did way back then. She is saying if you don't drink the water, you can't feed the cancer cells. Bullshit. Can you please tell me what you think about this as I am? That's not true at all. Stressed out thinking I am causing more problems for myself. Not at all, sweetheart. No. Very concerned, Francis. Not at all, honey. No. Not at all. She's full of crap. But remember, that's 1900 stuff. No way. According to medical doctors, you'd be feeding cancer with the sugars from the grapes. Moot point. What has to happen to cancer cells? If I go in with a pH of 2 or below, I'm going in with hydrochloric acid or below. I need to go to jail for that, especially if it's below hydrochloric acid. because it is well established that this is acid conditions in the human body. And in chemistry, when you give more acids, you do not create an alkaline environment. You create a more acidic environment. So you destroy more tissue and more lives. Because you're thinking autoimmune, you're not thinking properly. And you can't keep on doing that. Can't keep on doing that. This is Deborah. We only have time for one more, guys. About 3 months ago, I started on the all-raw diet and took 4 weeks of the detox supplements. I stopped using my antidepressants and estrogen patches. I began using the patches about 20 years ago after a total hysterectomy. Oh, poor thing. I feel so sorry for friggin' women. They butchered women. I'm feeling great, except the hot flashes are terrible. Try to work on your endocrine glands, honey, your thyroid particularly. See what your basal temperatures are under the arm. Make sure you're not into a hypostate. Take a look at the pituitary and the parathyroid and everything as well. Take a look at your eyes and see if you say anything down. See what your pituitary looks like. If you're looking at your blood work, look at the TSHs and see where they fall into as relative to your T4s and T3s. And see where you are with that. But work on the endocrine glands. That'll pull you out of the hot flashes. Because, if you've had a hysterectomy, if you had some ovaries, that doesn't matter. They're going to atrophy. To me, it's a closed house. Ovarian estrogen is uterine estrogen, not systemic estrogen anyway. That's adrenal, fat cell, and liver estrogens. I hoped after a while they would lessen, but I'm having them almost hourly. Holy crap. Well, get on an endocrine gland for me. You might want to see what your basal temperatures are under your arm. You might have to use a glandular a little bit to pop them up a little bit. You definitely want to get your adrenals after your adrenals. And see how you do with those. But get yourself on a full-fledged detox, sweetheart. But the patch is plant-based estrogen, so I'm wondering if I should just start using them again. The problem, and you could just be seeing a hiccup because of what you have been using, and that is estrogen has its sidekick. So when you're looking at the acid base, estrogen is on the acid side. What's the base partner? Yeah, progesterone. So by taking estrogen, you will shut down your progesterone. See, these things are in balance. If you take too much of one, you suppress the other. That's another thing he doesn't realize. In chemistry, it's well established. If you take too much phosphorus-rich foods, you'll push your calcium out. That's chemistry. I don't know where these people get their awarenesses. But when you look at it, man's suffering, obviously it's idiocy. But work on your endocrine glands, I would. Work on your adrenals. Start building up your natural estrogens. Work on your liver. Clean your liver out. Work on detoxing and regenerating your body, sweetheart, and you'll pull yourself out of that. We never see anybody continue with these, but check your basal temperatures and your thyroid, that sort of thing. So I'm wondering and check your parathyroid as well. How's your fingernails? Do you have any prolapsing of the skin, wrinkles, prolapsed uterus, or anything like that? With the hysterectomy like that, the bladder could get prolapsed now. I mean, it's possible. You never know. You could temporarily, but remember, when you bring your estrogen in, you're going to slam your progesterone, and then you're going to have symptoms from that. I wouldn't probably do that. I'd bring myself into homeostasis. I would go into a full-fledged detox. Get on a 100% raw food diet. If you want, instead of salads, use green drinks. And at the same time, use some herbs to go after kidneys, adrenals, do the endocrine glands. Take a look at your eyes. What do you got going on there? You got a pituitary going on? What do you got the parathyroid, thyroid? Take a look at your eyes and see what your endocrine glands. That's where you're going to go to find this problem. Is there an herbal supplement that would be healthier than using the patch? Absolutely. Use the female reproductive formula, by the way. It's a tonic for the body. I'm burning to know the answer to this question. Well, Deborah, there you are. And use the female reproductive, like I said. Get onto the endocrine glands a little more. Check your basal temperatures. If you got blood work, goody. Take a look at those things. Look at your eye, too. Very important to see your endocrine glands. That's where you're going to find this issue. Particularly up here. I got to kind of go. This is Olivia Newton. No, this is Olivia Jordan Higgins. Bulging discs. She said, I am a female professional golfer, and in March I hurt my back. Thought it was just normal back problems, which I have had before. Get that. She's had before. So you know that when you start feeling things, let's just go back to what we know in chemistry. When you start feeling things, which side of the chemistry do you think you're on? Predominantly the acid side, no question. That's when you start feeling the agglomeration, the inflammation, the swelling. You start feeling those things, the painful side of that. That's when you start feeling that. So when you have that before, you want to take a look at your eyes and see where on the spine do you have this problem. Remember that all the vertebrae on the spine match up to the organs and glands of the body. These are, all your centers there. So the trouble with having spinal problems is you're also going to have problems in the related tissue. For example, kidneys are L4 and L5, but 3 and 6 can be involved easy. And bladder and everything on down into the lower spine goes down from there. And same way up into the thoracic areas and the C-spine. So all related, tonsils and everything else and the deterioration thereof. So to fix any deteriorated or herniated disc, you have to fix the related organ. You're just getting a blowback there. So to fix that, you have to go to the eliminative system, not the immune system, the eliminative system of the human body, and fix metabolitic elimination, proper metabolitic elimination, which is simply your cellular waste. In April, I finally got an MRI because I was in severe pain and really couldn't do anything. Never mind play golf. I was diagnosed with 2 bulging discs. There you go. L5 and S1. Yeah, kidneys and bladder, honey. Told I would be fine in 6 weeks. Not unless you fix your kidneys and bladder, you won't be. In 6 weeks, and to keep going, I've been so many different psychos, chiropractors, doctors, and they're all said I'll be fine. Nope, I can tell you, if you don't fix the related tissues, you won't be fine. I don't know how do you get fine when you have acid deterioration if you don't fix the acid problem. I don't get that. No, you'll be fine. You'll be fine what? I can tell you're not fine. You wouldn't be writing me. And I don't see anybody getting fine. I know people go into the back surgeries and everything, and even those create problems. It's a never-ending story. Just talk to a few people that's had lower back surgery. It's a never-ending story of problems. That's why you got to fix it the right way. It's now September, and I'm still struggling with pain. Oh, I know. I am currently eating paleo. No! See? One big problem. If you're eating paleo, you're feeding your pain with proteins. Doesn't matter if you're doing some fruits and veggies. You're feeding your pain with proteins. Honey, professional golfer, let me show you something. Get rid of all proteins out of your life. Every little one of them. Matter of fact, if you want to fix this real fast, get rid of vegetables. Get on your fruits, berries, and melons and honk on. And check your parathyroid gland and pituitary gland, honey, because this is where you want to rebuild. You have to have a good parathyroid for calcium utilization. You want to get all the lymph moving out of the spine around the vertebrae at the same time. Get those kidneys filtering. And the blowback will pull all that out of there. Starting to feel better, but it's not gone yet. Quit eating meat. From what I've Googled, it's a bad case of sciatica. Oh, it can really hurt. Pain down my leg when oh yeah. My sister is a big fan of yours and suggested I try some of your products. I just wanted to see what advice you had and what products you suggested I should use. Detox yourself, Olivia. Detox yourself. Get a picture of your eyes because there's your inner being. There's your inner physical being. Take a look at the cells. And if you can't, then send it in. Have one of the have us look at them. But all I can say, sweetheart, is take a look. Take a look at what's going on. If you give me a picture of your eyes and you want me to get you on a protocol, hook up with Megan. She has how we do all that. But you got to do that to fix it. Get off the protein, honey. I'm just here to tell you a fact. Try it. You'll like it. Get off the proteins and your back will feel a lot better just doing that. But get your kidneys filtering to pull all that inflammation and acid out of those lower back, and you will love where you're going. Get your golf game back. If not, crippled. I mean, it just goes on and on. There's no stopping something like that if you don't. If you treat it, there's no stopping it. If you learn what's causing it and fix that, it's gone. I love you guys. Thank you for writing in. I appreciate it. I apologize for not having the time it takes to spend and help you guys more. I love talking to you on this camera. This is a good way for me to get out and talk to you. It's a good way for others to be educated, to hear your cases. And you want to look at that. How do we deal with these cases? Because you're going to have, it's like Jonathan, you're going to have, all going to start getting these horrible cases. And it's just, they're all out there. People are suffering so bad, it's not even funny. That's just sad, sad, sad. But we're here to fix them up, and you too. So let's fix everybody up together. I like that. Love you all so much. To end the day, if you're having a day like this, then do this. Love ya.